A furniture store in Wares Valley is closed and its owner charged with a felony by the Sevier County Sheriff's Department.
And then each one of these pallets, it has paper towels, it has wipes, Gatorade, water, things like that, bread.
Approximately 1,000 teacher jobs sat open in Tennessee last year. Now, if you win, don't forget the Lori and Don Fund that you could
That's right.
give
We're
to
probably
as well.
related to you if you won.
Yeah, your newest cousins. All right. The death toll here in East Tennessee rising again tonight from 15 to 16.
We want to start tonight by checking in with 6 on Your Side reporter Molly O'Brien, who's been looking at how this has really impacted the businesses in this area. Molly?
Lego sets are a hot commodity for shoplifters across the country, and it turns out also in Middle Tennessee. A recent data breach involving billions of Social Security numbers has experts and consumer advocates telling everyone to take steps right now to protect yourself and your children's identities. That's because hackers may have stolen not some, but everyone's Social Security number. Tonight, I look into child identity theft, how often it happens, and how to prevent your children from becoming victims.
Sit, mop, stop.
Mariko and her 6-year-old daughter are doing homework.
Good job. That was great.
The East Tennessee mother says while it's important for her to teach her children, she adds it's just as important to protect them and their identities.
I just am very careful about anything that I post online or say online that it's not including my kids' names or birth dates or any of their personal information. That's something experts say every parent needs to do.
There was a study done by Carnegie Mellon that said children had a 51 times higher chance of having their identity stolen than adults did.
Dr. Ron Mortensen is a child identity expert and warns parents about protecting their kids' personal information.
Don't give your Social Security number. Don't give the kids' Social Security numbers out unless it's absolutely necessary.
That's because stealing a child's number usually goes undetected for years, which means getting it is like winning the lottery for thieves. In an ABC News report, we learned that when thieves took a then 11-year-old Brianna's Social Security number, they ran up $132,000 in debt. And using then 8-year-old Bradley's identity, thieves took out student loans, maxed out 5 credit cards, and left a $19,200 debt in his name. As a mother, Mariko says that truly concerns her.
It's something that I always worry about, especially since fraud is so prevalent these days.
And she should be worried. All Clear ID estimates that 1 in 10 U.S. children are victims. And they say criminals will hack home computers, steal tax forms to find a Social Security number, plus they can get them from hospitals, child welfare agencies, as well as daycares and schools. In fact, sadly, it's not always a stranger. 1 out of 4 cases involves someone who knows the child, like a parent.
It is a massive problem, and nobody cares about it because even when a parent finds out that their child's number has been stolen, the Social Security Administration won't help them.
Mortensen adds, if your child becomes a victim, you will have to deal with it for the most part on your own. How hard is it to get a new Social Security number?
It's really difficult. The Social Security Administration does not want to give those numbers out. You're pretty well left to have to go out and try to rectify the situation on your own. There's not a lot of help from Social Security to do that.
That means prevention is key. And Mortensen says while it takes some work to do it, parents should take action and get a credit report on their child and also freeze their credit as soon as possible.
It's not easy because they have to verify really who the kid is and everything, but they can do it, and I would recommend locking up the child's credit from the time they're born.
Now, to freeze your child's credit, and your own for that matter, contact the 3 major credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. You're going to need a date, birth, legal name, Social Security number, to have that ready, pen and paper, because you're going to have that information, create a password. To do this, you can do it for free. It is free. Don't let anyone charge you, and you can keep it frozen until they're old enough to use those accounts themselves. Now, I have these names, I have these numbers with this story on our website at WATE.com because it'd just be too hard to write it down. Go to the website and get all that.
It's all right there for you. And here's a quick question, Don. Great story, so informative. What do you do if your child is a victim of identity theft, if it happens?
You're going to go back to those same credit bureaus. You're going to call all of them, contact all of them, close all the accounts that you can find, say a Visa or MasterCard account, a car loan, complete an affidavit indicating fraud. keep detailed logs, all the contacts you made, notify your local police department, and get a copy of all the police reports as well.
Yeah, this is a serious crime, obviously. So what are the penalties for someone who steals someone's identity?
In Tennessee specifically, identity theft charges a Class D felony. They can go to jail for up to 12 years. They can be fined up to $5,000. That seems awful, right?
Yeah.
But it's still not deterring ID theft, so be very careful.
All right, thank you, Don.
Don. Well, Lori and Bo, nearly 50% of Tennesseans own a dog, so canine cancer, which is increasing, really can impact tens of thousands of families here. Tonight, we look at the causes, the treatment options, and how we can protect our pets.
Yeah, there you go.
Meet Archie, a 12-year-old mixed breed dog and cancer survivor.
We started rubbing his neck and we're like, something's wrong. His lymph nodes are right there. And you could feel them. We just noticed at one point it was like little hard rubber balls.
Archie's owner, Eric Keener, says that led to a trip to the vet and then to the University of Tennessee Veterinary Medical Center, where doctors presented the options.
You have to think about what's their quality of life going to be. And that was one of the first questions we asked is, is this chemo just going to devastate him and he's going to, be sick for the next 18 months? And, what are the chances of success?
Statistically, it is as common as human cancer is.
Veterinarian Christy Moser says today more and more dog owners are faced with the same options the Keeners face with Archie. The Bluegrass Animal Hospital doctor adds the number of cancer cases she sees is sad and steady.
Like here, we typically will see, a couple of cases a week.
Turner here is just one example.
That lower, that whole bottom ramus or jaw, see where it's swelling right here?
Part of Turner's jaw had to be removed because of the cancer. The American Veterinary Medical Association says part of the increase in canine cancer is due to the fact that dogs are living longer. Other reasons are connected to exposure to cancer-contributing elements.
All the same, factors: sunlight, pesticides, herbicides, plastics, genetics.
Dr. Moser adds, just like human cancer, some forms are easier to treat than others, especially if they're caught in the early stages.
There are certain cancers that have a better success rate than others. Cancers that tend to be localized and haven't metastasized, regardless of the type, a lot of times are manageable.
She adds, catching it early means you have to pay attention to changes in your dog.
Things that you watch for, when you're at home and you're not seeing the vet, definitely, weight loss, just inappetence in general, a dog that eats with gusto and then all of a sudden it doesn't want to eat as much. I always tell clients, be sure that you are familiar with the color of your dog's gums. They should be nice and healthy pink. General malaise, not feeling well, not acting like they have acted previously, not wanting to play.
That brings us back to Eric and Archie. The family decided to move forward with chemotherapy.
He's been in remission for, 5 or 6 months now.
And they say they made the right decision.
Hopefully we're getting a few more years out of the old boy by doing it.
Now, the FDA says that most cancer treatments for dogs use the same drugs that are approved for human use. However, the doses and the frequency are different, with dogs receiving lower doses to reduce the toxicity and the side effects. As for costs, the Keeners told me they spent $5,000 for Archie's chemo, but it can cost thousands more depending on the cancer and depending on the treatment. Now, we have links to canine cancer information with this story online at WATE.com.